everyone. Today in this class we are going to discuss about work measurement. We have already discussed in our previous class about the method study of work study. The second part of work study is work measurement or time study. Work measurement is the application of techniques designed to establish the time for a qualified worker to carry out a specified job at a defined performance. When a qualified worker do a work at a normal rate, what is the time taken by that skilled worker or the qualified worker to complete a particular work or job is known as the time study. So time study is done to fix a particular time to complete a specific job to complete it. Why we have to have a standard time or standard operation time for a particular job? Because we can take one example. Suppose one tailor is taking to stitch a shirt 1 hour. So that worker, we can say that person is a skilled person and taking 1 hour to complete the work, or to stitch a shirt. That tailor is taking 1 hour time. So we can fix that time when that tailor is performing his job in a normal rate or normal speed. That person is taking 1 hour time. So we can define that time for that shirt to stitch, means 1 hour to stitch a shirt. So we can define that time for other workers or other tailors who are working to stitch a shirt. So we can fix that time that everybody should take at least 1 hour to complete that particular job. Maybe someone can complete within 50 minutes or 45 minutes. Someone can take more than 1 hour or 1 hour 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So when someone is taking more than the time, we can say that person is not that much efficient to complete the work. Or someone is taking less time, means in hurry or in very speed. Maybe the work is not performed in the correct way. So these are the things we need to understand actually. So when a particular job is done in a normal rate or normal speed, then what is the time taken to complete a particular work? That is called the work time study or work measurement. So why we go for the work measurement? We go for the work measurement to fix a standard time for each work or each element of a work. Then we can eliminate the inefficient time by deciding a time or fixing a time for a specified job or work. Then estimate the cost of the product, means how much time we are taking to complete that work, so that we can fix the cost of the product or the process. Then we can efficiently use the plants, machines, equipments, everything to perform the work. So different techniques are also used in work measurement. Work measurement technique are like stopwatch time study, then work sampling is a technique, predetermined time standards, standard data, historical and analytical analysis. So according to the situation, we go for using the methods. So the methods are like stopwatch time study, work sampling, predetermined time standards, standard data, historical and analytical analysis of the data or review of the process. So these are some of the techniques normally used for work measurement, and these techniques, according to the situation, we go for using different techniques. Time study is a work measurement technique for recording the time and rate of working for the elements of a specified job carried out under specified condition for or for carrying out the job at a defined level of performance. So the level of performance or the performance level means we can say when a worker is working or a skilled worker is working at a normal rate or normal speed, a normal pace, what is the time taken to complete a particular job or part of that job. So that time we fix as a standard time for that job or work to complete. Time study is a work measurement technique for recording the times and rate of working for the elements of a specified job carried out under specified conditions and for analyzing the data so as to obtain the time necessary for carrying out the job at a defined level of performance. So, we record the times and the rate or the speed of the workers who work in a normal environment condition, normal conditions, and what is the time taken to complete that particular work or job. Then we record the time, we go for analyzing that time, and we fix a time for that specified work to be completed. Because when we will fix a time only, we can compare the time, how much the time that work actually should be completed and how much time the workers are taking to complete. If someone is taking more than 1 hour, like I have given one example like stitch a shirt, more than 1 hour like 2 hours, it is too much time. If someone is taking a qualified worker is taking or a skilled worker is tailor is taking 1 hour time, if someone is taking 2 hours, then its time is so much, some inefficient time is there, or that person is not using the time properly or taking lot of breaks in between his work. So we can not say that that worker is efficient for his work. So always we need to fix a standard time for a particular work so that we can observe the time, how much the time is taken by the workers to complete that particular work. So work measurement is the application of techniques we have already discussed, is the time for a qualified worker to carry out a specified job. Work measurement refers to the estimation of standard time for an activity. We fix a standard time or standard a time to complete a particular activity or job. That is the time allowed for completing one piece of job by using the prescribed method. Standard time can be defined as the amount of time a qualified worker working at a normal rate of speed will require to perform the specific task. So, standard time is fixed by the industries, by the organization when a skilled labor or a qualified worker work in a normal condition to complete a particular job or work. That time we fix as a standard time for the particular job to complete or to operate. Cycle time. The time taken to complete the sequential operation in a task or job. When we go for using in a sequence, in a order, all the job what is the time taken to complete the particular job, to start the job and to end it in the job. That is called the cycle time. So what is normal time? Normal time taken by the operator for complete of the work in a normal condition. Very normal condition, not in very ideal condition we can say, or we cannot say very worst condition, very normal condition, normal speed, normal rate. If the worker is working, then what is the time taken? So time taken by an operator for complete a job in a normal condition, that is, it is the product of the basic time and the rating factor. So we give a rating factor that is called performance rating. We'll discuss in our next slide about performance rating. So when we multiply the observed time or the basic time with the rating factor, we get the normal time. So when we multiply the observed time or the basic time with the rating factor, we get the normal time. Then how we are going to calculate standard time? The standard time is calculated when we go for adding our normal time with the allowance. Always allowance is given on the basis of your normal time. Allowance is given on the normal time. What is performance rating? So performance rating, we can say, the Society of Advancement of Management National Committee defines the performance rating as the process during which the time study engineer compares the performance of the operator under observation with the observer's own concept of proper or normal performance. It can also be considered as the efficiency of the worker. What is that performance rating? Is the process of adjusting the actual pace of working, comparing it with the mental picture of pace of an operator working at normal speed. So, actually, performance rating is the process of adjusting. Actually, we compare the actual pace of working of a worker with the normal performance of an observer. Means how that observer should give the time. Actually, the performance rating is the process of adjusting the actual pace of working, comparing with the mental picture of pace of an operator working at normal speed. Means time study analyst will analyze the worker according to the normal performance of that particular person. Means when a observer is observing the worker, the what is the observer is getting in his mind? What is the time that observer will think that it should complete? If it is in normal performance, it should complete within this time. And what is the actual rate of working of that worker? So we compare that person, the observer compare that normal performance or normal speed with the actual speed of the particular worker. So the Society of Advancement, according to Management National Committee, defines the performance rating as the process during which the time study engineer compares the performance of the operator under observation with the observer's own concept of performance. If the means who is observing, the observer will think what will be the normal rate or normal performance should be, and what is the actual rate that worker is working. So that worker, that observer will compare with the mindset of his normal performance with the actual performance of the worker. So this is a comparison between the actual performance of the worker and the observer normal performance. Then a rating factor is given to the worker by the observer. The performance rating is equal to, we can say, that is the efficiency of the worker. That is the observed performance of the observer or the analyst who is studying, the time study analyst we can say, divided by normal performance. This is actually the normal performance into 100. So efficiency of the worker only we are checking. The performance of rating is nothing but we are checking the efficiency of the worker according to the observer. According to the observer, what is the efficiency of the worker who is working? So on his mind, the observer will think what will be the normal rate should be or normal performance would be, and what is the actual pace of the worker who is working to complete that work. So then the observer performance and divided by the normal performance into 100. Observed performance of the worker divided by the normal performance into 100. So this is one example that may make a clear idea how performance rating is given. So there is 8-hour duty and a job should take 30 minutes to complete it. But after 8 hours, an operator is able to complete only 14 jobs. The operator's performance is we need to calculate. So what is the calculate? We know we have to calculate the efficiency or the operator's performance by observed performance divided by normal performance. So if you see, there is 8 hours duty and a job should take 30 minutes to complete. If it is 8-hour duty, one job is taking 30 minutes. So how much job we can complete in 8 hours? Means in 1 hour we can complete 2 jobs. If one job is taking 30 minutes, then in 1 hour we can complete 2 jobs. So in 8 hours, we should complete at least 8 into 2, that is 16 jobs. But after 8 hours, an operator is able to complete only 14 jobs. The operator's performance is, how we are going to calculate the operator's performance? That is the observed performance. Observed performance is the operator's performance. That is the operator's performance is 14 jobs divided by, actually, what is the operator's performance? What is the time study analyst is analyzing? Time study analyst if will say that is the normal performance, that is 8 into 2. So 14 divided by 8 into 2 into 100%, because we are calculating the efficiency of the worker. Performance rating is always in percentage. So 14 divided by 8 into 2 into 100, that is 87.5%. So we can say the efficiency of the operator or the operator's performance equal to 87.5%. So maybe this slide will make you clear about what is performance rating. So rating, we can say, is the assessment of the worker's rate of working relative to the observer's concept of the rate corresponding to standard pace. Corresponding to standard pace, what is the assessment of the worker's rate of working? So we compare the worker's performance with the time study analyst performance level, or the, we can say, the standard pace of working. We can compare the worker's rate of working relative to the observer's concept of the rate corresponding to standard pace. So what should be the standard pace according to the observer, and how the operator is operating that particular work, or the time taken by the operator to complete the particular work. We compare it and we give a performance rating, or the observer who is observing or the time study analyst will give a rating factor to the workers on the basis of his observation. This is one example of how we are going to calculate the standard time. You can take the question and can calculate it, and also can put in the comment box what is the result you are getting. So we can discuss on this. This is another question. So of the standard time only. We'll discuss one or two examples here. Let us discuss it. Before that, we'll discuss about what is allowance, because we have to use this allowance factor in the in calculating our standard time. So we need to discuss little bit about what is allowance and why it is given. So additional time, this is a time study analysis. The additional time allowed to perform the work over and above the basic time is called the allowance. Actually, additional time is given to perform the work over and above the basic time. On the actually, over the basic time, we give some allowance to the workers to complete the work. Additional benefit provided to the workers for recovery from fatigue and for relaxation. So we can say this is an additional benefit provided to the workers for recovery from fatigue and for relaxation. So normal time does not have any allowance. But when we go for calculating the standard time, we always take or give some allowance to the workers. So allowance we can say here, as we are discussing about the time measurement or the work measurement. So it is a time study. So allowed additional time allowed to the workers to perform the work on or over the basic time. Here we have discussed about some allowance. What are the different types of allowance actually? The determination of allowance is the most controversial part of the time study because it varies from person to person, situation to situation, place to place, job to job, season to season, and many more. Actually, allowance is different in different industries. It differs from place to place, person to person, and industries to industry it is varies. Therefore the industrial engineer feels it difficult for this job. Actually it is difficult to give some allowance for a particular job. However, certain standardized norms of allowance are in regular practice by the industrial engineer. These are narrated under 5 heads as follows. So these are the basic, we can say, the standard norms of allowance. These are very, you can say, very standardized allowance we give in normally in every industries follow. That is the interface allowance, relaxation allowance, process allowance, contingency allowance, and special allowance. Relaxation allowance, we can say it is a PFT allowance, that is for personal fatigue and delay allowance, you can say. Maybe 10% to 20% of the basic time is added. Process allowance, allowance given to the workers to compensate himself for enforcement of idle days. Contingency allowance, this allowance is given for the infrequent or non-repetitive work, like 5% of the normal time we give the contingency allowance. Suppose regular we visit to take a tool or getting some special tools, equipments, or we go for sharpening the tools. So these are the contingency allowance, 5% is given for the on the basis of the normal time. We have to remember always the allowance is given on and over the normal time. Special allowance like your interface allowance, periodic activity allowance, these are some of the allowances given for the workers to make them more effective so that they will be not idle, fatigue or tired, and it will give some relaxation to the workers. So this is a question we can discuss here. An 8-hour measurement study in a plant reveals that 320 number of units were produced. If the idle time equal to 15% and the performance rating equal to 120% with allowance 12% of normal time, the standard time per unit produced will be. So this is a question. Actually, what is given in the question? It is a 8-hour measurement study. Means the total hour of study is 8 hours in a plant. Reveal that 320 number of units were produced. So we are producing how many units? 320 units. But the ideal time is 15%. And performance rating is 120% with allowance 12% of normal time. So we need to calculate the standard time. As we all know, we have already discussed our first we need to calculate the normal time, then we need to calculate the standard time. First we need to calculate the normal time. Normal time equal to observed time into performance rating. Standard time equal to normal time plus allowance. Ideal time is 15%. So what is the working time? If 15%, if you are taking 100%, 15% is idle time. So what is the total work time? So we can 85% we can say 100% minus 15%, it is 85%. So what is observed time? Observed time equal to actually total 8-hour study. 8 hour we can say 8 into 60 into 0.85, that is 408 minutes, because 480 minutes total our study is 480 minutes. 480 actually minutes is our total time of study, but the ideal is 15%. As the ideal time is 15%, we can also calculate 480 into 0.15. 0.15. So 480 into 0.15 we can also calculate, and we can differentiate or subtract it from 480. That also we can do. But here we have calculated like 8 into 60 into 0.85 as the working time. That is 480 into 0.85, that is 408 minutes. Number of units, how much we are making? That is 320. Allowance is given 12% of the normal time. The normal time equal to observed time into performance rating. As performance rating is always percentage, we'll divide it by 100. So normal time equal to 408. We have calculated observed time into 120, or we can say it is 120 divided by 100. We can say 1.2. So when we calculate the normal time, that will 489.6 minutes we can say. So normal time per unit if it is 320 we are calculating. So what is per unit? Per unit its normal time is 1.53. So allowance is 12% of the normal time, that is 1.53 into 0.12, that is 12%, 0.12, that is 1.53 into 0.12. So the allowance is, always remember that allowance is on normal time. Allowance is given on normal time. So 12% of normal time, that is 1.5 into 0.12, that is 0.1836 minutes. So standard time equal to normal time plus allowance, that is 1.53 plus 0.1836. So total standard time we can calculate 1.7136 minutes, or we can make it 1.714 minutes to complete a particular job or unit of production. So this is one question. We can go for discussing another question here. Here we have taken one example, like in a welding shop, a direct time study was conducted in a welding operation. One inexperienced industrial engineer and one experienced industrial engineer conducted that study simultaneously. They agreed precisely on cycle time, but their opinion on rating the worker is differed. The experienced engineer rated the worker at 100%, while the inexperienced engineer rated the worker at 120%. They used a 10% allowance. So this is the question given. Number of times observed means how many times we have taken the observations. The number of observations are like 2 times we have taken. Cycle time in minutes we can give. The 2 times we have observed this job, that is 20 element of the job we can say. This is 1 time we have observed. So this is 24. This is once we observe, that is 29, and this is 1 time we have observed, that is 32. So we can say this is the observed time. So actually this is the cycle time in minutes. It is given 20 minutes, 24 minutes for the welding operation. And this is the observation is, the first observation is taken 2 times. Second observation for the welding is taken once. Third is taken once. And fourth is taken once. So this is the time of the particular welding observations. So what is asked in the question? Determine the standard time using the experienced industrial engineer working rating. Find the standard time using the worker rating of the inexperienced. One is rated by the experienced engineer. One is rated by the inexperienced industrial engineer. So normal time we have no. It is observed time into performance rating. That is, first if you go for calculating the total time, we can say we can go for calculating this was what is the total number of observations. As it is a welding operation, we have taken the cycle time for each observation. So this observation is taken 2 times. This is once and once. So you can take this total time is 40 minutes of observed time. This observed time is 24 minutes, this is 29 minutes, and this is 32 minutes. So total observed time, if you say 40 plus 24 plus 29 plus 32, that is the total observed time. And what is the number of observations here? The number of observations 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, 4 and 5. So we can take the total time, that is 40 plus 24 plus 29 plus 32, and what is the sum of this time? We can divide it by the number of observations, that is 5, and we will get the time as 25 minutes. That is our observed time. The average time we get is 25 minutes. That is the sum of these. This is 2 times 40 plus 24 plus 29 plus 32 whole divided. The sum total is divided by the number of observations, that is 5. And we will get 25 minutes. So 25 minutes into the performance rating, first is given 1 point, that is 100%, that is 1, that is 25 minutes. Adding a 10% allowance, will get the standard time equal to normal time into, as the allowance is given on normal time, so we can take normal time into allowance and we can make it or add it to the normal time. So normal time into 1 plus allowance, that is 25 minutes into 1 plus 0.10 will get 25 minutes. So part B is, this is by the experienced engineer. Part B is for inexperienced industrial engineer, that is 120. So if you see, the normal time equal to observed time into performance rating, that is 25 into 8, that is 30 minutes. Adding 10% allowance, we will get the standard time as 33 minutes. So if in the summary we can rate that this is the standard time, that is by the experienced industrial is 27.5 minutes, and the standard time using the worker rating of the inexperienced industrial engineer is 33 minutes. So it differs by some 4 minutes, 33, and this is 27.5, you can say. This is 3 plus 2.5, that is 5.5 minutes. The experienced according to the experienced engineer, the time of the study is 27.5, and according to the inexperienced engineer, it is 33 minutes. So this is a comparison we can say. I hope you understand the video. If you like the video, do subscribe the channel and share with your friends. Thank you so much.